Hey everybody, Urban the Paid Tourist here. Got a little DIY for you. I'm gonna try to make I got a camera case, and I'm gonna put a battery into it and an outlet on the outside through the wall of it. It's the same outlet as you have in your car. It's a cigarette lighter plug-in, 12-volt outlet, and that's what I'm gonna use. That way when I'm on the go, I have a good sized battery in here to last me all day. Not like one of those little small battery packs that will last me a couple of charges, and like if an emergency or something, those are good for that. But most likely by the time you use it again, it's not going to want to work. So I've come up with a different plan of actually using a big battery to actually do what I need to get done. But sometimes just being on the go is when you need the power and you don't have time to be able to plug it in somewhere. This is in a case, and I have another one that's a toolbox that's a lot bigger battery, or actually twice the size of the one here that I'm fixing to hook up. I'll show you that in a few minutes. But let's get going and put this together. This is a case that's from Harbor Freight. It's about $30 for it. It's an Apache Rugged Mobility. It's a hard case. It's plastic, and it has the foam in the inside where you take little squares and peel them out, and you can make it for whatever you want. You make it for a gun, like a gun case, or you can put the cameras, like me, I'm using it for my cameras, and put the battery inside. That way I can have it and have power when I want it and when I need it without having to go find an outlet somewhere. I have power. So let's get together, put this thing together here. This is the case. It has the eggshell top, it has a foam in the bottom, and it has two inserts in the middle. That is for the peel out parts to put your cameras and stuff. I've already got the outlet plug in right here. When you buy it, it's in a package where it's like this. Has these two wires. They're about 1 foot long a piece, and that's all I'm needing. I got this PVC coupling. It's a 1-inch pipe coupling. 1-inch pipe goes in this side, 1-inch pipe goes in that side to couple them together. If you know about plumbing. If not, but that's a 1-inch coupling. You take this, I'm gonna use it for a heat shield, because I don't want this metal, just in case it gets a little bit hot or warm, it won't mess with this soft foam here. See, this foam is real soft. It's the eggshell kind, like this. So what I've already done is taken all this apart. I did go ahead and put my ends right here onto it and crimped it on the other end. One end comes already done that plugs onto here, and the other end you're going to be able to clip onto the battery, which has a blade type connector on the battery. So you need a blade type connector on this other end here. I've already put some heat shrink around this part, so I've already done this part already, and I've already drilled my hole in the side. This is where this piece right here will go into it and sit just like that when I get done. All right, here we go. So what I'm gonna do, like I said, I'm gonna put this through here. I'm gonna take it. All you got to do is when you put it in, see if I can get it the other way here so you can see it better. Put it in. Turn it about where you want it, a little off. If you want this like up, straight up, so when you peel it open, that it does like that, then put this end up straight up. But you want it a little bit first. You want to cock out a little bit. Because the way you're turning this, when you get it tight, but all you want to do is finger tight, really. You don't get it mostly tight. Then when you start wrenching down on it with your hand, as tight as you can, it'll start turning a little bit. Turn it in place and just kind of wrench down a little bit harder, as hard as you can. Now if you do need to, you can use a pair of pliers. It does have these grips right here for your hands, but also a pair of pliers will help. But you don't want to take it and just wrench all the way down on it real hard. It will strip out because it's only screwed up on the tail end back here. That center piece that goes out through here is the center bolt here. That is the positive side. That's where you're going to plug your red wire to it. This outer collar has a blade type connector. That is for the negative. So you'll hook your black wire onto it in a little bit. Right now we're going to get it straight, make it look good. Now up under this I do have about a 1/2 inch. You can see the pad here. It's about a 1/2 inch thick on the bottom here. So it's just barely touching it. I'll move that out of the way a little bit. Try to see if I can get my hand in there and get it real tight. There we go. About as tight as you need to get it. You just want hand tight. You don't want to put no wrenches to it really, if you can help it. I know some people do have wrist problems. So if you need to use a pair of pliers just to get it, just kind of use it like this and just kind of wrench over on it a little bit, but not really hard. You will strip it out and it won't work at all for you. Then what I'll do is put this over the top of that, just like that, but I'm going to connect these wires. I'm going to put them through to here. So put that black wire up over here. Alright, it's all the way on. The red wire goes to the gold piece in the center. All the way on. Slide this up. Now, like I said, I'm just using this more as a heat shield to keep this foam. When I start putting it in, that holds my cameras up here. This will hold that foam from getting in there and touching that metal piece by itself. Okay. Later on, I'll go back and put me some like super glue or something here to hold this to it flush better. But most likely, I'll have enough foam around it to hold it in place. So I'm gonna get my inserts and the battery. Now all I'm gonna do is move this out because I know my battery's gonna fit right here. This is already marked for my bigger battery. And I'd already cut this piece out, but I put it back in to use one. It's only about this big. It's not quite the size of the other one, but it will work for what I need it for. Just to go in this big square that I've already got cut out. And see, it has these. You break them out. You just start poking your finger down into it. It'll start ripping them out. Just cut that way and that way, 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch little squares. Just like this. That's what it looks like when you pull it out. And it leaves these holes. They're nice, flush, won't hurt your cameras and stuff. Then I'm gonna pull these wires up through this big hole, put this down through here, just like that. And I'll push this side down. After a while of it being like this, that foam will actually, with it being mashed down, if I held it like this very long, it will hold its shape after a while. But you can cut that if you want to. I might go back later and cut it to make it where it fit. But it'll sit just like that in there. And this piece right here is out just far enough that's not going in and touching that metal body there. So you put that in place. And I've already got it cut out for several things. My 360 camera, the new one, the bottom of it go here and out through it'll stand up just in here. This case is about 5 inches tall. It's about 1.5 feet wide and about 1 foot deep this way. Well, wide, long, height, how you want to do it. So I'll pull this up, hold those wires out, grab the battery. The battery is a Adrenaline long-lasting sealed lead acid battery, 12 volt, 7.5 amp hour, roughly 20 hours. So that'll last you, like I said, most of the day. So you want to make sure you get these wires kind of moved out the way. This is going to kind of fit in there kind of tight. You don't want the battery on the wires. You just want it sitting back. I do have some more foam I'm gonna stick in here that came out of this spot. I'll get about 2 little rows of it, and I'll put it in here like so to hold it in place. This piece here, I'm just gonna keep my cameras off from going down and touching that plastic there. So I'm gonna put it on top of that part there, just kind of fill that hole in, lay it on top. They come out as tall like this, but I don't need it like that. I just need something to cover that plastic. So I'm gonna cover that hole by doing that, just laying it in there. Just laying it sideways. Yeah, wires, you never want to do a real sharp angle, even like that, as much as you possibly can. You really don't want no right angles, like going over an edge and like straight down. You always want something, at least like your finger, put it in. You just at least want to curve like that into it. That way, because the ends right here are what they call, it'll blow out. And that means if you're using a lot of electricity, which this is not going to really use, it will it'll shoot out the battery, go right there to that right angle, it goes straight down, and it'll start melting the end of that wire, your case. So you really don't want to do that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this battery around. I want to plug in on this other side to use this wire instead of having to circle it around on top. So do it this way, put that there. Let me pull this part out for a second and show you what I'm talking about, the wires. See the wires? They're not just going straight out. They do have some curve to them, and they'll be under this here. So what you do is just make sure it's not got a straight right angle to them. Kind of bend them a little bit, push them down to the bottom, and then come around, and then up to your battery here. And again, I'm just going to set this up right here. In another hand here. So I'm going to hold these wires just up out the way. And these foam inserts are easy to come apart. You can see right here where it's already, me using it a few times, taking it out, is already tore it. So it'll hold together right there. That's fine. I was thinking about getting another set of this foam here to redo this here. I got it set up about where I want now. I still could use the space in here to put some stuff, but I got it on the top part where I got it right now. I have been putting some wires into a section on top here, right here. So I might just peel out some of this right here and make a bigger area, like a big area here, and put a bunch of wires into it and do it that way. Keep all my wires kind of together, or extra wires. All right, that's in there. Now, as I said, all you have to do to keep this all doing, even when you hook up a battery charger or another wire to charge it, like I did my toolbox box, the power box, you just take your red wires, stay to the positive, your black wires stay to the negative, and you just hook it up. Same as I did on the other end, just slide it all the way up on there. And again on this side. Now, that's what you're gonna have. Something like that. Tuck these down to the bottom here, so they're not up with the cameras and stuff. And see, this is making an arch over to the side going down. It's just not going along here then taking over to the side. You want to make sure it's always not like a right angle. You want to make sure it's kind of like a flow to it. So you got that there, that there. And what I'll do is later is I'll take some, they have liquid tape, liquid electrical tape, and I'll brush it onto here later. Right now this will do. Or you can just take regular electrical tape and just put it across from the side all the way across. And do that about twice across, maybe a third time on top of one, and that'll be plenty to hold that down and to keep the heat from the connectors from touching that foam here. Like I say, you just want to take a little extra precautions when you can. So put that in there. Plug-ins on the side. See? It's on the side. Now you got that in there. Let me get the other piece. See, I have these already cut out. See, I was going to lay the new 360. I was going to lay it down here, but none of this here was being used at the bottom. So I figured I can just stand it up from here, up through this end, and have my straps go over here, maybe a wire or something. But like I said, I'm going to make these holes here a little bit bigger, or about just add these all together here, like a big hole like this. And I'm just going to take and put my wires in this whole section right here. So, like I said, I want to try to get me some more of this foam and redo it just a little bit neater, where I've tore it out a few times and pieced it back together and stuff. Yeah, see, I just want to push up a little bit. Yeah, I may go back with some scissors and cut that little spot out, but it'll work for now. Then I have this made, just this piece I pulled out of one of these blocks here. What I'll do is I'll just stick it in here. And see, it's only like 2 wide, so I know it's gonna fit in here and be able to just hold these wires still until I go back and get the other spot that actually does go in here and cut that spot out and fill this in. That way that battery's not moving nowhere. Now let me see if I can get this together. My cameras and all. Alright, this is my 360 camera I got from Walmart. Put it right here. I have this camera, which is the same one like I'm filming with now. It's a SpyPoint XL 720W. It's like a GoPro. It came from Walmart. It was like $109. My wife found it for me on sale for $25. So it's got a big lens to it. It's nice. It's got a real wide view to it. It does have an extra battery. You can replace it. The sound on it is kind of crappy though. And I videoed a little bit with it, but not enough to really tell how it does. So I'm gonna see how this video here turns out. Maybe it turns out great, right? We always hope. So anyway, I'm gonna try that, but it does. The only thing I don't like about it, because I like the 1/4-20 bolts a lot of times, so I have to have an adapter to put on my tripod that I'm using now. But I have to have 2 of them to do both these cameras in 2 different spots, or have the adapter the other way. So I have that one, then I have that one. So I'm gonna put this one in here, and the other one will go on top of this. Next we have this little camera here. It's like $30 at Walmart. It does come out this little piece here. This is just so you can mount it on a tripod or something. So without the tripod, without this case here, this little front, it has the 1/4-20 adapter to be able to use this. But you can walk around with this in your hand and video stuff, and people will never even notice you even have a camera. I mean, just like this right here. There you go. You're hiding the camera right there. Boom, boom. Buttons on top, done. Have some different little slider here for the video or pictures. Not too bad for $30. It's done me pretty good. So I put that on there. It also comes with a case. When you take this part off, it has a case. It also has a 1/4-20. This is made for going into the water, like the old GoPros did. They had the extra case onto it. I'm gonna slide this down here to the bottom. Now this one was like $60 at Walmart. This little red one here, both of these were Vivitars. Same as the 360, it's a Vivitar. This one's the DVR 786 HD. It has a case that goes onto it, go in water. It does have the 1/4 20 threaded hole to put it on a tripod. It does have decent sound for a camera. Even some high-end cameras don't have good sound. You have to buy external mics and stuff. It also comes with a remote. Now this one was like $60. Most of my videoing has either been on my phone or this one, a little bit with that one. And I have tried this 5-point a couple of times, but not enough to really tell how it does. I started the video with this one here because I know it works and does pretty good. Now I'm going to set this one on top of that one, in that case there. Then I'll take the one I'm filming with, put backwards down with the lens up on top of the one like it. Then I have this spot here for these wires. This is the wires for my new 360 camera, not the Walmart one here. This is for the one, the Insta360 1X. This is for the USB-C, and all the ends have a right angle going into where the goes into the camera when you connect it. Put that in the bottom. This is the one again with the right angle to the camera. This is the lightning cable for the iPhones. Put that in the bottom. Can't really use those. This one here is a package that came with my new 360 camera, the Insta360 1X. This is a string. It has a 1/4 20 little bolt on the end, and the other end's got a loop you put on your finger and do what they call bullet time, which is slow motion going around your head like a drone. I'm probably not going to use that, but it's there. Might use it a different way I've had an idea for. This cable here is for the USB going to your computer, and the other end connects to your phone for a little fast download. Just click your phone and computer, there you go. Or you can just take the chip out of it and slide it in your computer, which works just as well. A lot of people say they have problems with it, taking the chip out. So far I've not had any problems. So either way, it goes in there. Like I said, I want to try to maybe move this one to the back here or something, and then use this whole section here, the top part and the middle part there, to make for all my different wires, because I have different wires like this wire here, which is 10 foot long, and I have three like this. Actually, the camera I'm filming with now is hooked up, and it's got a 10-foot cord. Then I have a USB extension cord over there. And this plugged into my cigarette lighter in the truck. So USB on this side, micro USB, and I have another one that's only 7 foot long, and it has a USB-C for my new phone, my Droid phone. So yeah, I'll be able to take these and put them all here and all with these, and have all my wires here together. That way when I need one, I just pick up this case and I'm ready to do it. Ready to get her done. And also have an extension, a little coupling kind of wire for USB, micro, and I have these little right angles. I'm using the extension cable to my camera here now. Then I have this as a right angle into the camera, and the extension cable plugged in right here. So that's micro USB to micro USB with a right angle. And I have two of these, which is one for the left, one for the right. That way if you need to flip it around this way or flip it around that way or whatever way you want to, that way the extension cable is just hanging here this way, and this here turns right angle into your camera or cell phone. So I have those, so I'll be able to put those in here. And to keep these from getting lost, I just stick them in like that. That's for the micro USB to micro USB, and I can connect two of those together. All my stuff's in here together now. There you go. You close the case down, and like I said, on that end spot over here, that will be my new 360 camera standing up this way, and the strap to it going over here. And maybe move this one over here and make this a big open space here. That's that case. But I have a battery and a plug-in to be able to charge things on the go if I need to. Let me get my other case and show you that now. Alright, this case here is like a little toolbox from Harbor Freight. A little cheap toolbox, like $3. What I have is, now the difference between this one and the other one is I got a bigger battery, which is twice the size of that battery. It's 14 amps here. That one's 7.5. But I also added, this has got an external plug-ins right here. So it's not mounted into the side of the box, which I could have did, but it just takes up more room, and I have foam in the bottom. And then also this plug-in to charge this battery I have right here. And I have a switch to turn it on, off and on. So pull this out. It is a long cable. So I have all this wire here to reach from wherever I need to be able to plug this into a car to be able to charge it. Won't take as long to charge it that way as versus trying to plug it into the wall with this here. That's what this thing here is for. This here is, you plug this into your house or a motel room or convention center or a regular wall outlet. You can plug it in here, then take the wire from the toolbox and plug it in here, and it charges it up. So I have this with me with this or the other one, but the other one I will need to get a wire that has an end like this on one end and an end like that on the other end to be able to plug one end into here and the other end into the car or a regular power outlet in your vehicle. Set this out of the way before it falls. Now, inside this one's a little bit different than the other one. They don't have my cameras and stuff like that. It's just mainly a battery pack. So I have this little bit harder foam. You can get it at Walmart or something like that. I need to take some that Flex Seal and spray it over this to kind of hold it from crumbling apart like so. And it keeps getting inside here. Not really hurting anything, but see, this here I did burn it with a torch to get a little bit of depth in here to add some room to put my cable in. But also this foam here, tilt it up a little bit. This foam here is actually holding the battery this end, holding the battery this way. I have some foam on the sides, on each side, to hold it from the walls. That way it's just sitting on the bottom. I have this on the top. Didn't feel like it was all the way out. That's where my wire goes in right here. Just goes into that little top part. I have a hole drilled here for it to go through. I drilled another hole beside it to put my switch on. And again, all it is hooking black to negative on your battery, hooking red to the positive on your battery, and hooking black to black, red to red to all your stuff. My switch is on the negative side, so I go in and right back out on the negative sides on the switch part. The red is just coming in from the battery, coming in from there, then coming in from the battery here this way, and splitting up, one going to the charging cable and a black wire going to the charging cable. That goes through the battery, the switch first, and then to the charging cable. Is all that is. That just turns this in from being hot, and I don't mean hot as in touch hot, I mean hot as in if you touch the positive to the negative here with a piece of metal, it will shoot some sparks. You close this back up, like so. Now these battery packs can be made bigger with like a now these batteries can be made bigger. You can use a cooler or the larger briefcases, a large briefcase, or some of the big camera cases that roll around, the suitcases that roll around. You could use those and do the same thing with. It's just red wire to the positive on the battery, black wire to the negative on the battery. And just hooking up your charging wire the same way. Make sure it's positive to positive, negative to negative, and you hook whatever kind of plug-in you need to it. Ideal way is like this, and hooking it straight in to it. Like the other one now, I'm gonna have a male in to a male in with a wire in between. One going into the case and one going into your cigarette lighter in your car to be able to charge that one. So that'll be another wire I had to put into that box or carry it with me some kind of way. This one here, the only thing different is it has the wire to it. It's still the same concept, same way of hooking it in. But what you want to do, if you want to run more equipment than a cell phone or a camera, you want to run more than a cell phone or a camera, you need to go bigger with like a marine type grade battery. I say that one because it has the big knobs that you hook a car up to with the big ends like the size of your thumb, but also right beside it has a little threaded bolt to it, so you can take the wire, the end of the wire, and splice it off, go with your positive to positive, negative to negative, but you put a connector onto it that has a big ring to it, and all you got to do is slip it on that little bolt and then tighten the little nut or wing nut down on top of it. But you can put that battery in a different kind of cases, like a cooler or a suitcase, one that's real sturdy. Cooler is probably a little bit more sturdier than the suitcases. Suitcases have more of a thin wall to them, so I would go more with a cooler. You can go to Dollar General and get one for $15–20. It'll fit a good sized battery into it. It's the same like a car battery. But then you're able to run a laptop and a light and a few other things, and for half a day to a day. So those last a lot longer. They put a lot more wattage out, but also you'll have enough room inside that cooler to add a inverter. You need at least about a 300 watt inverter probably to run a laptop, because you can get by sometimes with 100 watt if you have it hooked up right, and if you have a smaller laptop computer. The bigger laptops, they have its own graphics cards and stuff like that. It's only use about 100 to 150 watts. So you need at least that many watts to handle that computer good, but just you want a little bit of overkill when you can. So just go ahead and move up to the 300 watt inverter. They're only like $30 for them or something like that at a truck stop or something. I think Walmart does have some too. Most of the time I just buy mine at the truck stops. I drive a truck, so it makes it easier. Same concept. You want a plug-in, you can either mount it on top, as I did with this toolbox here, mount it on top, and I have two outlets, whereas the other one's more just a travel one, and I can just plug it in and just plug one thing in at a time, or with, like I have a USB plug-in that has 4 USB outlets on it, so I'm able to have 4 USBs for that one outlet. So this one here, I can actually have 2 of those plugged into this one and have 8 wires coming off of it to charge several things. It's just a little overkill, but that's just the way I wanted to do this one. It was a little bit more, no more to actually do it with 2 outlets than 1 outlet. I think another $1 or $2 for the double one. The single one by itself is like $5 or $6. The double one's like $7, $8 maybe, whatever. You can buy those at Walmart. I got this bigger battery here at Batteries Plus Bulbs. It's a Duracell. It's the 14 amp, and it was like $60. The other one in the other case you see me put together, that one is like $20 to $25, according to what Walmart you're at, when you can find them and what time of the season, because they're for a deer feeder. But they are, you get the 12 volt one, that's the longer one. It's a little bit bigger and a little bit heavier, but the little small one's only 6 volt, and it's not going to work. It can work, but probably not as good with your plug-ins and stuff. So you know, you want to go, like I said, most of the time you want to go with the bigger one, what you need, because those plug-ins are made for 12 volt. There's some made for 12 and 24. There's some made that can go with 6 and 12. So you have to watch out for that. So the easiest way you know it's going to work, you know it runs on your car. If you'll plug it in your car, it'll plug into these. So if you want to run something bigger like a laptop, get a cooler, put a bigger, like a car battery into it, put an outlet on the side, and there you go. Just with a regular car battery, you're going to have to either get the side mount post and the thicker cables, and then you have to reduce it to go to a wire like this, whereas these are more smaller and stuff like that. So that's why I say the marine battery with the little bolt, then you get your own wire and run your own wire to your outlets. It just works a little bit better that way. It is what it is sometimes. Anyway, y'all, that's it for my DIY for a power box. Hope this helped you. Maybe I can get some more DIYs out there soon. Bigger is better. I just needed something for my smaller situation. There's more carry around for me. I can put it in the truck. Don't add a whole lot more weight like a car battery would. And a car battery kind of deal would be a lot more overkill. It does have its situations for it. I might make one of those later for the house. When I go off somewhere, I can drag that around, but also I have on the post that come up for your to roll your cooler around with. You can actually have straps to hold your tripod and stuff like that to it. So it's multifunctional when you do it that way. And you can lay your laptop down on top of it, strap it down to the cooler, you know, put a crate on it. There's different ways you can actually build those up to be able to carry everything that you need, even your laptops and lamps and lights and tripods and stuff like that. So they have their places. I might do one of those later on, and when I find the time to, when I stay home and actually go places and do things there, it's just a little bit too big and bulky and heavy for me to put on the truck here. So right now, these boxes here is exactly about what I need. So everybody, is Urban the Paid Tourist, I hope this DIY helped you. Y'all make it a great day. And come follow me on my travels. If you like this, click that subscribe button. Don't forget that bell. And every time you get a chance, come check me out. Because sometimes YouTube just don't send those notifications. Y'all come check me out. It's Urban the Paid Tourist. Y'all make it a great day.